What is the best way to get more clients without feeling salesy? Because let's be honest about it, right? None of us wants to be salesy. It is so icky and newy to have this feeling of being salesy. And we shouldn't really have to have that feeling because there's a better way to go about it, right? So right now, maybe you're feeling like you're on this constant, like never ending marathon of trying to get new clients. And so the second you get a new client, you got to go and get your new one. And then it's like this never ending treadmill that you're on. So maybe you're on Instagram, maybe you're doing Facebook Lives, maybe you're networking, maybe you're asking your previous clients for referrals. But in all of those aspects, you're constantly on this circle of trying to get new clients. And so I want to talk today about a better solution for that, a way for you to be able to get new clients without feeling this icky feeling of being salesy. All right. So if you're live, just say your name and let me know where you're from so I can give you a shout out. I see that Mandy and Benaz has joined. So happy to see you here, ladies. All right. So let's jump right into it. So today I'll be talking about the reason most service providers and coaches end up feeling salesy. Yes, this live today is specifically for you, service providers and coaches, because I know that's something that's really important for you and something that really impacts you, that feeling of being salesy. So I wanted to talk about that today. We'll also talk about my favorite way to attract clients using Pinterest, as well as to talk about the number one mistake to avoid when growing an audience using Pinterest, and why you need to play the long game. All right, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Isabelle Paquin. I'm a business marketing strategist, and I help entrepreneurs grow their list, business, and visibility using Pinterest. And I have for you a fab Pinterest roadmap. So if you're looking to get started using Pinterest and you're not too sure where to go about, or you've been doing and using Pinterest, but you're struggling to get that traction, then this roadmap will be perfect for you. So there's a link in the comment for you to download this roadmap, or you can just go to my website. I've got the in the green right up here. It's on my website, isabellepaquin.com/roadmap, and it's absolutely free. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's get cracking. And I want to talk first about the reason most service providers and coach end up feeling salesy and what you can do about this. And to talk about that, I want to use an analogy. So I was at a birthday party about a week ago. I was at my friend's son's birthday party. He's 8 years old. He's an awesome little boy. And so we were about 40 of us. We were all crammed in a house. And, kids were running around. Adults were laughing. It was a lot of fun. But you can imagine 40 of us in a house. It's not a small house, not a big one, but it felt a little busy inside the house. So the noise level was incredibly loud, right? And so what happened was that after about 3 hours or so, the little boy is 8 years old. He just had enough. And so he decided to just grab his new car toy that he had just received for his birthday and just go outside and just play by himself. And so what happened is that we were all kind of, left. And we had gifts that we wanted to give him, but the little boy didn't want to hear about it. He's like, I am done. I'm outside. I'm playing with my new car. And he didn't want to come and receive our gifts, which is fine, right? It's all cool. He's a boy. But our mom really wanted him to get his gifts and all that. And so she tried and went to get him. And the little boy, I love him to that. He's super hard-headed. And I think he's going to go far in life because of that. And he's just this, when he's got his mindset on something, that's just what he's had. And so he didn't want to come back in. His mom couldn't persuade him. His little sister went. The same happened. And then some of his friends as well. He didn't want to come in. Adults went. Anyway, you get it. Nobody wanted to go and he didn't want to come back in. So let me know if you know a kid like that, that's just super hard-headed. And no matter what you try to get that kid to do something, even though it's a good thing for him, he just does not want to do it, right? So let me know if you know a kid like this. And so what happened is after a while, my husband and I were like, okay, we'll just leave the gifts here. That's all fine. We can open them when he's feeling like it's right time for him. And his dad said, oh, just wait 2 minutes. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And so what the dad did, and I thought that was so interesting, the dad took some Legos and then he went outside and he just sat on the porch. Now, he didn't try to convince the kid to come and play with him. He didn't talk to the kid, for that matter of fact, to his son. He just started playing with his own Legos. And so what happened? Well, the kid was curious, right? He was wondering, like, after a while, what was his dad doing playing with Legos? Like, what is he building, right? What kind of, whatever thing he was building with his Lego. And so the son eventually came to see him. And he started interacting with the dad, and then they started building some Legos together. And after 5 minutes, the kid was cool, and he went back in, and we were able to give him the gifts. So why am I telling you this story? Well, because it has a lot to do with getting more clients. If you're constantly out there and you're being like, hey, buy my stuff, and you're asking for it to sell, and you're pushing for it, and you're constantly featuring your programs or being in Facebook groups and saying, hey, come and grab this, it's not going to work, because people are going to be just like this kid. They're going to be, no. Because when you constantly push people to do something, what's the natural human reaction? People just back off, right? They just say no. That's just natural human nature. But if you incite curiosity, just like the dad was doing, if you bring them into your world, if you get that curiosity going, then it's easier to form those relationships and form the bond, and then get that know, like, and trust factor that we all know is so important in the online business world. And so that's why I wanted to use this analogy. And the reason why I see a lot of service providers, so when I say service providers, I mean like web designer, like all those people that do done for you type of services, right? Agencies, marketing strategists, consultants, web designer, branding specialist, virtual assistant, is that constant pushing in asking for people for the sell is really what's pushing away people. As instead, if you're working more on an attraction strategy, it'll be much easier for you to bring those clients to you. All right, so let's talk a bit more about that. Let me talk about my favorite way to attract clients. And so the way I do that is through creating content, is to creating a content strategy that's very specific and very thoughtful in terms of how I'm approaching it. So I'm using content that is resonating with your problems, with how you're feeling right now, with your pains. And then I'm helping you understand what's the root of that problem, why is it happening, and then providing you with some solution. Now, I don't give you all of the details, of course, that's kind of behind a paywall, but I give you a lot of information to help you get started. And so how do I do that? Well, just by getting to know you guys better. And also a lot of it, quite frankly, is through my own experience, because a lot of what I do, I experienced it before what you're currently experiencing. And so that feeling of, constantly being on the treadmill of getting those clients, that's something I felt. And that's something that was very frustrating. And so I want to talk about today how I was able to get over that and start developing this attraction content strategy. And it's exactly by creating content that's surrounded around those pains, those problems, helping you understand why you're having those problems. Because sometimes we don't know, like exactly like in this live that I'm doing right now, you may not know why you're not getting those clients. You may not know about attraction content strategy. And so I'm exposing that, and I'm bringing you into that world and showing you what's possible. And the way I like doing in terms of more like specific and how I do it, I love starting by Facebook Lives. And so what I'm doing right now is my first touch point with you guys. So let me know how many of you do Facebook Lives. A lot of people are kind of not too comfortable with them. And if that's you, that's fine. my first Facebook Lives, I was not comfortable at all. And what I did, I just practiced. And then once I was a little comfortable, I started doing some. And then the more I do them, the more I get comfortable. It's just practicing, right? There's no magic formula to it. And so, but what I do, I start with my Facebook Lives. And then from there, I repurpose it everywhere. And so that saves me so much more time. And so I create a blog post from it. I create Facebook content from it. I create my emails from it. I create Facebook posts. I create videos that I post on Pinterest. I will also be starting to repurpose it on Instagram very shortly as well. And so it's a very efficient way for me to produce that. And it's a great way for you as well. For any kind of business that you have, using this methodology of starting with a live and then repurposing it into several different ways is such a great way to allow you to connect better with your audience. Because like right now you're seeing me, you kind of can get a feel for me, right? You can see my style, you can hear my voice, you can say, oh, I don't like her, or I like her. You can start like slowly, right? Getting that connection and building that connection. And that's not something you can achieve through writing blog posts. And so yeah, I really, really enjoy now doing Facebook Lives. Not something that I used to at the beginning, but it's something you just get accustomed to. Benes is saying, I'm not doing Facebook Lives. I believe my business model is different. Yeah, so for this specific one, this live today is for service providers and coaches, definitely. But for you, Benes, you sell products. So are you talking about how your products are influencing your clients' lives? That could be something, right? What's the behind the scene of what you're doing when you're packaging them, when you're sending them to your clients? What would you do, right? So these are some ideas of things that you could do behind the scenes to bring people into your world so that you're not constantly pushing or using like, 2 for 1 or 50% off or discount's going to expire before the end of the day. Not that you do that, but I just want to use that as an example and instead bring people into your world, bring into what your products can change and can make an impact in people's life. All right, so let's jump right into the next point, which is the number one mistake to avoid when growing an audience using Pinterest. So the one thing that I hear over and over again when people consider talking about or consider using Pinterest for business is that fear of blogging. They're thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to have to blog. This is going to be so time consuming. And it's true. Like at the beginning when I started, blogging was time consuming. I would actually spend like a day or two writing each of my blog posts. So guess what would happen, right? Next week would come around. I somehow would find a way to not have time to write my blog post because I just didn't feel like spending a whole day or two on a blog post. It was just not efficient. So it's only until I actually developed a system that allowed me to repeat and reuse and really maximize and optimize my content that I was able to gain more consistency and more efficiency in my content strategy. So that now I'm only spending about a few hours, right? So I'm doing my Facebook Live right now. So obviously I'm spending the time. I spent some time to prep for it and I did some graphics to promote it. And then I'll be using like the words that I spoke today to just create a blog post from there. And then I just repurposed the video. So Sylvia is saying, I'm scared about the idea of Facebook Lives. I know it can be so scary. And I used to be scared as well. I used to be very self-conscious about, I have an accent, right? I'm French Canadian. And I thought, well, maybe people won't be able to understand me. Maybe they won't be interested. Maybe I'll sound boring. Or whatever else, or maybe I won't have the right lighting. And it's not that we have a lot of roadblocks. That was my experience. I had a lot of roadblocks at the beginning. And then I found that just as I was going through them and just practicing and doing them and just getting better over time, I just started gaining more confidence. And that's just natural, right? Nobody gets up and, we're not born and the day after we're video marketing expert. There's some time, right, that we need to get there. But I think giving us the compassion to just, and giving us the permission to just be ourselves and just going out on Facebook Live and then reusing that content to help us gain more reach through Pinterest. Because let's be very clear, like right now I'm on Facebook Live. I've been doing Facebook Live on a weekly basis, for I think 5 or 6 weeks now. And the maximum live number I get is about like what I'm getting right now, 4 or 5, maybe I'll get to 7, but that's about it. What I get is after the fact. I get more views after the fact because I reuse it on Pinterest. I take that same content, I put it somewhere else, and then that's how I get the traction. All right. So using Pinterest will absolutely help you to increase your reach and get so much more traction from your content strategy than if you were just doing a Facebook Live or just Instagram, for example. Pinterest will just allow you to drastically expand that very, very way faster. But if you're like, you know what, Isabel, like I do not want to do Facebook Live, then don't. If you're more comfortable writing blog posts, then that's what you do, right? But it's all about creating that content that really, truly, truly resonates with your audience so that you can start creating that attraction machine so that you're not constantly chasing and going after clients. Okay? So I want us to also talk about why you need to play the long game. When you and I are in business, we're not in it for the short game. We're not in this for any quick strategy or what have you. We're in it to make an impact, make a difference, make our business successful, of course, but also make sure that the clients and the customers that or the students that we're working with are being super successful in their businesses as well. We're here to impact lives. And so that's our bigger vision, right? That's where we want to make a difference. And so Pinterest, I found, is the perfect match for that vision, that long-term vision. And let me explain to you why. When you're on Facebook, like this live right now, it will last, like I'll get some after the fact views from it, maybe a day, if I'm lucky, maybe 2 days. But after that, it will die down. The same if I were to do a Facebook post, the same if I were on Instagram, and it lasts, a few hours. And on Twitter, it's just a few minutes. But on Pinterest, traffic from a post will actually peak after 3 months. And so if the post that I published today using this Facebook Live that I'm doing, the traffic I'll get from it will peak in 3 months. Now you might think, well, 3 months, that's too far away. But think about it if you're doing it over time. So the Facebook Live that I did 3 months ago now is bringing me traffic. And you see, like I'm doing a Facebook Live now. It's going to bring me traffic in 3 months. In a week, I'm going to do another one. It's going to drive me traffic from there another 3 months. And then I'll just keep going. And so every week, I've got this traffic. And it just builds and builds and builds and builds over time because it builds over a 3-month period of time, not over a few minutes or a few hours. And so that's why I feel that Pinterest is such an amazing platform for taking your vision of having a long-term successful business in place. It's because it's allowing you to drive this traction and really reach more clients over such period of time and really create that build up. And so it's creating that attraction strategy. So after a while you've been doing that, you're no longer chasing for clients. You're no longer hoping that previous clients will thankfully send you some referral to help you find new clients. Pinterest will help you just build that email list and help you feed that funnel so that you can get your clients. Now, some people use the word on autopilot. I don't really like that word because it's not 100% on autopilot. You still need to create content, but it's content that drives you clients, and what you're doing today is not something that just counts for today. It's something that counts for months and months and months and months to come. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I am so thankful for you guys being here. I just want to take some comments. And first, I just want to remind you, so if you haven't grabbed your Fab Pinterest roadmap, there's a link above. It's on my website. It's free. It's isabellepaquin.com/roadmap, or there's a link as well in the comments, and you can just go and grab it, and it will help you understand how to use Pinterest to help you start that attraction content strategy so that you can start getting more clients. Or if you've already started, but you're kind of struggling, the roadmap will help you understand as well what are the big missing pieces that you can use to help make it work for you. All right. So I wanted to thank you, ladies, for being here with me today. It is such a pleasure for me to be here with you every Tuesday. So I do live every Tuesday. They'll be at 3 p.m. From now on. I used to do at 1 p.m., but 3 p.m. works a little bit better for me. So I'm going to be doing 3 p.m. from now on. So I hope that you found this content helpful. Let me know. Give me some thumbs up so that I know that I can continue creating content like this for you. Also, if you have any questions, any comments, just drop them in the live. I'll be coming back later today and tomorrow to reply to any questions that I may have missed today. And so Benaz is saying here, she says she had the same feeling. Oh, it's just covering my face. She had the same feeling with email marketing. For some reason, I was so nervous and didn't like to do the job. Only after I faced my fear, I noticed it was not a big deal. Now I have exactly the same issue with Tailwind. I know. So that's the thing, right? With being an entrepreneur, there's always those things that can be intimidating, right? You're like, how am I going to do that? Email marketing? How do I even capture their email? What am I going to send them? What am I going to do? And sometimes it's those fears that are blocking us. But here's the thing. I can't remember who said this quote. Oh, Audrey Hepburn maybe? And she said, there is nothing impossible. In the word impossible, there is possible. I am possible, right? And so I find that so empowering. You just know that you can do so much more than you think you can. So just been asked right now, like you were scared about email marketing and now you're like, yeah, I got this covered. And now it's Tailwind. But the beauty of it is that you're just growing from it, right? You're just getting better and better and better. And then you're just conquering those fears one after one and establishing foundations of success for your business. And that's the beauty of it, right? And that's how we grow, and that's how we grow as entrepreneurs. So big shout out for you, Benaz. You've been doing an amazing job. Benaz is actually a student in the FabPin formula. She's been doing an amazing job of just getting and just crashing all those roadblocks and getting her business further ahead. All right, guys. So I hope you found this helpful. If you know other people in your circle of friends that would benefit from hearing more about how to get more clients using Pinterest, then I would love for you to share this live. All right, ladies, thankful for you being here with me this afternoon, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Next week, I'll be talking about the 3 major mistakes to avoid on Pinterest when using Pinterest for marketing your business. All right, see you, ladies, next week.